Hello everyone, hello, very good to be here. I'm teacher Juliano, I'm going to be teaching you English. Are you okay today? I am fine. Do you understand my American English? Is it very clear for you? I'm just kidding, guys. I'm teacher Juliano. You can call me Jesky because Jesky is my nickname. So just feel comfortable to call me the way you prefer, Juliano or Jusky, and I'll be teaching you some classes through videos, which will be very fun. Today's class, by the way, normally students take this topic for granted, but be careful, this topic can be very tricky. We're talking about the plural form of nouns. Would you be able to tell me the plural form of phenomenon? Or would you be able to tell me the plural form of ox? Do you even know what ox means? Ox means boy. So would you be able to tell me the plural form of louse or mouse? All of these pieces of information will be shown through this video. So pay close attention, write down as much information as you can, or as much information as you think it is important for you. Okay? And I'll be back in a minute. Pay close attention, get your notebook, write down everything you can, and I'll be back in a minute. Talk to you soon. When we think about the plural form of nouns, we have to take in consideration, guys, that we are only concentrating on those nouns that are countable. And I remember talking to you previously about countable and uncountable nouns, abstract and concrete nouns. Remember, uncountable nouns we cannot change to the plural. Some examples of which would be money, coffee, even though we hear a lot in TV series, movies, I'm gonna have a coffee. Well, this is wrong. The right way to say I'm gonna have some coffee or I'm going to have a cup of coffee. Why, teacher? Well, basically because the word coffee, differently from Portuguese, the word coffee in English is uncountable. So we can't count one coffee, two coffees, just like money. We can't say one money or two monies, or we can't say one advice or two advices, because these words that I've just mentioned, they are uncountable. We cannot count these things. We can count other things, as I mentioned before during the class. We can count cups of coffee, we can count dollars, we can count pieces of advice, but we cannot count the word per se. So keeping that in mind, the only words that we can change to the plural are those that we can count, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, then we have obviously a huge group, but we have a group that is very specific. Well, when it comes to changing to the plural form, normally we think about the letter S. That's what we normally do. And that would be 90% of the cases. Yes, that's the good news. That's 90% of the cases. The funny thing is that when you're taking a test, believe me, universities normally do not ask questions related to this 90% of the cases. What they concentrate is they concentrate on those 10% left. Why? Because you have to memorize the special cases, the exceptions, irregular nouns that we're going to go through, nouns that they come from Latin or Greek origin. So all of these things universities normally ask you about. So it's not an easy task. It's a tough task because we have to memorize as many words as we can. So in order to take a good test, in order to be assertive, in order to have a good result, well, we need to memorize the rules, the exceptions, the special cases. We have to have a good notion that English and Portuguese are completely different languages, even though we have some coincidences here and there, but we can't rely on that. We do have to memorize as many rules as we can, and we have to keep on practicing. And this class is meant to help you practice and get to know more information and avoid the mistakes we normally make. Well, as I said, this first rule is the main rule. So 90% of the cases will fit into this rule, this general rule. And what is this general rule, teacher? Well, basically, we have to put the S at the end of each word, and then we're forming the plural. Some of the examples are, well, I've listed some of the words here. Book, books, cat, cats, computer, computers, cup, cups, garden, gardens, sweatshirt, sweatshirts, table, tables, week, weeks. I could continue here forever. Microphone, microphones, wall, walls, lamp, lamps, etc., etc. So we don't really have to list all of the words because the group is gigantic. What you have to keep in mind is that this is the biggest group. So we call this a regular group. Why, teacher? Why is it called regular? Because we just have to add the letter S. But we do have other groups that we have to be careful with, because it's not simply adding the letter S to these words that will have the plural form. This second group, guys, is a group that is really easy. We are very used to seeing words like this words I'm going to list to you. Nouns ending in a consonant plus the letter Y. What do we have to do, teacher? Well, this is the thing you have to pay attention to. It's a consonant followed by the letter Y. So we need to have this formula in order for this rule to be applied. So basically, you have to remove the letter Y and add IES instead. Some of the examples we have here, the word baby. Baby, 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 ooh, baby, 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 ooh. So baby would become babies. Body would become bodies. City, cities. Country, countries. Dictionary, dictionaries. Family, families. Ferry, ferries. Fly, flies. Lady, ladies. Party, parties. Sky, skies. Lucy in the sky with diamonds. I can't sing today, seriously. Story, stories. So this group is very easy. There's nothing complicated about it. What you cannot confuse this plural form of nouns, this rule that applies to nouns, with the rule, which is basically the same, that applies to verbs. Verbs in the third singular person, simple present. For example, she studies at night. He parties all night long. Well, the rule is the same, but here we're focusing on nouns. These rules apply to nouns. Verbs, they have conjugation. Nouns we can change to the plural, so don't get confused with that. The simple present is another story we're gonna see later on. We're gonna practice later on. I'm gonna teach you later on, not today. Today we're concentrating simply on the plural form of nouns. So remember, nouns ending in a consonant plus Y, remove the Y and add IES instead. Remember that words like boy and toy and key, we do not apply this rule because basically they end in Y, but they're preceded by a vowel. So do not get confused with that because we're going to have trouble, okay? So basically that's it for this group. We don't have to worry much about this group. This is a very easy group, but we have to take in consideration they're not really regular because we had to change some stuff. This next one says plural ending in VES. What does it mean, teacher? Well, basically, nouns ending in F or FE. When you have the end of the word in these letters, F or FE. Well, what do we have to do? We have to replace F or FE and add VES. That's the general rule. Obviously, this group is a little bit more complicated because we have lots of exceptions. And that's when universities normally ask questions about. These kind of rules are confusing because we have a general rule, but then we have lots of exceptions, and there we have a question. I've already seen questions on different tests, on URGS tests, PUC's tests, UPF's tests, everywhere actually, from private to state schools, private to state universities. They will ask questions related to plural, and they prefer these kind of confusing rules like this one. Well, here we have some examples that we can apply this general rule: calf, calves. So we have elf, elves, half, halves, leaf, leaves, life, lives, knife, knives, etc., etc. So it's a good idea if you could write down the examples, especially the ones you didn't know before. You had no idea, you had no clue about until now, until I'm presenting you this video. Remember that some nouns can have either forms. For example, scarf, scarves or scarves, dwarf or dwarves, hoof or hooves, wharf, wharfs, wharves, staff, staffs or staves. Remember that these are exceptions, and they accept either ways. Exceptions like belief, beliefs, we only add the s at the end. Brief, briefs, cliff, cliffs, chief, chiefs, shaft is another one. Shafts, cuff, cuffs, grief, griefs, roof, roofs, golf, golfs, safe, safes, proof, proofs, reef, reefs. So we've got a lot of work to do. We've got to memorize as many as you can, because there's nothing else we can do. We just have to go through these words and try to memorize all of them. This following group that we have now, this is a big group, by the way, because we have lots of different terminations for words. For example, nouns ending in ch, s, double s, sh, ending in x, ending in z, or nouns, most of them ending in letter o. What do we have to do then? Well, what we have to do is we have to add the es at the end of these words in most cases. Some examples follow, and you can see in the video. Church, churches, match, matches, watch, watches. Some exceptions: conch, conches, monarch, monarchs, patriarch, patriarchs, stomach, stomachs. So memorize those exceptions, because you never know. This may be in a question in the future, and then the only way to get the answer right is by memorizing this group, which is not major, which shouldn't be that difficult. I can't remember how many times we've been through this in our lives, in all of those English schools that we go through that I can't name right now, but you know what I mean. Even at regular school, the teachers normally go through these rules over and over again. The problem is that it's difficult to memorize everything, and you have to keep on practicing. And what I normally tell the students is you have to read. The more you read, the better your vocabulary will be. You will be able to remember the words more easily. So this is the key thing. I normally say in my very first class, anywhere I teach, that you've got to read a lot in order to learn English and to be able to have a good vocabulary. Well, let's keep on talking about this same group ending in s. For example, bus, buses, ass, class, classes, glass, glasses, kiss, kisses. One kiss is all it takes, falling in love with me, possibilities. I don't know the lyrics anymore, but well, brush, brushes, crash, crashes, flash, flashes, wish, wishes, etc., etc. Ending in o, we've got a situation here. Well, we've got a big group, and we have to consider them exceptions to a rule. What is the rule, teacher? Ending in o, we add the es, like echo, echoes, superhero, superheroes, potato, potatoes, tomato, tomatoes, potato, tomato, if you prefer a more British accent. Exceptions. In reduced forms and words of foreign origin ending in O, however, only S is added. What do you mean, teacher? Well, those words that they have been reduced and they come from other countries. For example, avocado, avocados, cello, cellos, commando, commandos, dynamo, dynamos, Eskimo, Eskimos, etc., etc. Piano, pianos, portfolio, portfolios, radio, radios, logo, logos. So we've got a huge list, and unfortunately, you have to memorize. I've already seen some of these words in questions, so there's nothing the teacher can do to help you more than I'm doing right now, showing you some words and exceptions, special cases. Some words they're versatile, like buffalo. You can say either buffaloes with the S or buffaloes with the ES. Mosquito, mosquitoes. Tornado, tornadoes. Volcano, volcanoes, either with the S or the ES. So we don't have to worry because we wouldn't make a mistake unless they ask you a very specific question related to that, asking if the word has two forms in the plural. Well, that would be very mean. Be careful with the words ending in double O. As you can see right at the corner. I'm sorry about this noise, but it's my computer. But anyways, nouns like cuckoo, cuckoo actually. Bamboo, zoo. What do we have to do? We just have to add the letter S. So cuckoos, bamboos, zoos. Okay, so try to memorize as many as you can. Write down the ones you didn't know before. This is a good piece of advice, and you can tell by now how vast this is. How much it takes to memorize all of these words, and to know all of them is basically impossible. So my previous tip to you is the main thing I can actually give as a piece of advice is reading is the secret. The more you read, the more you will know. The more you will memorize, and the better prepared you will be for any test, or even whenever you use English to communicate with other people. Well, then you will minimize the mistakes, and this is the key, right? You have to keep on learning. You have to keep on improving your English, not only for tests but also for your life. Once you take the test, once you basically get into university, you'll use English for the rest of your life, and I'm pretty sure you don't want to make mistakes. You want to speak proper English, and this is something really important, I'm pretty sure, for you, for English learners in general. Okay, guys, so this group is a little bit dangerous. If I were you, I would concentrate here a little bit more. I would take notes. I would write down as many words as I could, just so you will be able to memorize them. Some nouns that I really like are like bad boys and bad girls. Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do if they come for you? Bad girls, what you gonna do? What you gonna do if they come for you? What do you mean bad boys or bad girls? Well, the thing is, bad boys and bad girls, normally they don't respect rules, and we have a group of words, a group of nouns that do not respect the rules necessarily, the rules that I presented before. Why, teacher? Because they are completely irregular. They have a special form in the plural. They are very unique. And well, the good news is we've studied these words so many times before that we know most of them. So this is the good news. The bad news is that if you haven't studied yet this list, well, you have to go through this list and you really have to memorize it, okay? For example, I'm going to start with the ladies. Look, I'm pretty sure you know the word woman, pretty woman, walking down the street, pretty woman. If I had to change this to the plural, I couldn't say like, pretty womans, walking down the street, pretty womans. Why, teacher? Well, because the word woman is irregular, and we don't have the possibility of saying womans. We have to say women. So the song would go, pretty women walking down the street, pretty women that kind of like to meet pretty women. Obviously, the song is not like that, but anyways. So the plural for woman is women. The plural for man is man. The plural for gentleman is gentleman. Child. Whoa, 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 sweet child of mine. I don't even know who sings that, but I'm pretty sure you know this song. Child is the singular form, and the plural is we are the world, we are the children, we are the ones make a brighter day. So then start giving, something like that. So children is the plural for child. I'm sorry for my singing, but this is new to me, like recording a video and basically listening to myself, recording this at home. It's a little bit different, but anyways, I'm getting, I'm getting the way. I'm getting the way to do it. Well, oxen, person, people. Okay, be careful because person, we have the possibility of saying persons. But when we say persons, well, when you want to give more emphasis to a group of people, when you want to be more formal, like the persons who signed this contract will be responsible for paying the fee or something like that. But normally we use people. So the list goes on and on. Foot, feet, tooth, teeth, like I brush my teeth. I've heard I brush my tits, but I don't know, but I don't brush my tits, I brush my teeth. Okay, guys, goose, geese, mouse, mice, etc. Nouns that do not change in the plural, they keep the same way, like aircraft, deer, elk, grouse, salmon, sheep. I remember a singer called Shipner Spears, right? Oh, baby, baby, oops, I did it again. Right? That was not funny anyways. But sheep remains the same. Sheep, 1 sheep, 2 sheep, 1 million sheep. 1 fish, 2 fish, 1 million fish. So remember, these words are special and they do not change in the plural. That's something very, very risky and dangerous when it comes to tests. Be careful with this group. They love adding these words to the tests because it's difficult to remember. Another group that confuses people a lot. Why, teacher? Well, because this group, this group is made of nouns of Greek or Latin origin, and they keep their original meaning, right? The original plural. I'm sorry, the original form in the plural. For example, here we have Olga. Look, alumnus, analysis, appendix, axis, bacillus. So what do we have to do? Oh, basically, guys, it's impossible to memorize all of these words. Look, datum, data or data, criterion, criteria, crisis. So it's impossible to memorize all of them. Phenomenon, phenomena, right? Stimulus, stimuli. Wow, teacher, how do I memorize all of these words? Almost impossible. But if you pay close attention, be careful. Look, the nouns ending in A in singular, ending in A in singular, well, they become AE in the plural. So we've got this list here, which is basically some general rules that would be easier to memorize than memorizing all of those words I listed before and hundreds of other words. So words ending in US, change it to I or aura. For example, fungus, fungi, corpus, corpora. Ending in IS, like crisis, crisis. Matrix, matrices. Criterion, phenomenon, phenomena. Formula, formulae. Index, indices. So it's much easier to memorize these patterns than actually memorizing the whole list, which is practically impossible to memorize all of those things. So this is a good tip. Take notes, write down all of these rules, because I'm pretty sure you will come across words like this during the tests, and hopefully you will remember this set of rules. It will be much easier for you to know the plural of these words, okay? So be careful with those words that come from Greek or Latin origin. Very nice, very nice. So here we have, look, these words only exist in the plural. They have no singular. For example, examples like binoculars, belongings, drawers, glasses, outskirts, jeans, scales, pajamas, pliers, slacks, pants, trousers, underpants, tights, scissors. All of these words, they only exist in the plural form. So be careful with that. Oh, teacher, but what if I want to put that in the singular? If I'm talking about my glasses, well, you can say a pair of glasses. I've bought a new pair of glasses. You can say my pair of glasses is brand new, or my glasses are brand new. My pair of pants is dirty, or my pants are dirty. My jeans are very expensive. My pair of jeans is very expensive, because you're referring to one pair of, so one pair is very expensive. The same thing happens to scissors. Where are my scissors? My pair of scissors, you can say if you want. My pair of headphones, you can say. So be careful with these things, especially if you've got if you have these questions related to changing to the singular form or changing to the plural form. These questions can be very tricky. Okay. Some other words we call false plural. Why false plural? Because they end in s, but they are in the singular. I've listed a couple of them, especially the ones ending in x. Most science names and other nouns ending x are singular, which means they do not have distinct forms when in the plural. The corresponding verb is also in the singular, so be careful. I've given an example. The example is, politics is a complicated subject which most people detest. People hate to talk about politics. So politics is, okay? So acoustics, athletics, electronics, genetics, linguistics, mathematics, physics, politics, statistics. Be careful with these words, because even though they look like they're in the plural because they end in letter S, but they are in the singular. So the verb must be in the singular, must agree with the subject, which is in the singular. Okay? And on the other hand, we have these nouns that only exist in the plural. They refer to a group of people, a collective, actually. Therefore, the verb they agree with will also be in the plural. Okay? For example, cattle. The cattle are. The police are. People are. Right? Remember that we talked about people before. Person is the singular form. Pessoa. People, pessoas. Okay, but we also have the possibility of person, persons. Remember that I mentioned that whenever you're giving a more formal approach or you want to give more emphasis to a group of people, you can say persons. Normally contracts, documents, government documents as well. Okay, so look, one example is the police are looking for the robbers. Okay, and attention, the word people can also be singular. I made sure it was in Portuguese so everybody would understand that 100%. So people can be singular, povo. So what would be the plural? Povos. Well, the plural would be peoples. Don't get confused. Don't get confused. Okay? Person, people. Pessoa, pessoas. Person, persons. Pessoa, pessoas. Okay? People, peoples. Povo, povos. The Brazilian people, o povo brasileiro, enjoys carnival. Yes, we do. Some African peoples have strange customs and beliefs for us. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, the class, and also all those pieces of information that may be very important for you in the future, because we do not know which kind of questions universities will ask. So I'm pretty sure with these pieces of information, you're well prepared. The thing is, unfortunately, you have to memorize some words that are very different. Remember that universities, they really like exceptions and special cases. So concentrate on special cases and exceptions, because this is good advice I'm giving you right now. Something else that I always tell my students, read as much as you can. Remember, every week I assign a different article for you to read. Where can I find this articles, teacher? I'm going to provide a link to you where you can access all these articles week by week, and you read these different things. Why do we have to read about all sorts of subjects? Because you don't know which kind of text universities will have on their tests. So you have to be prepared when it comes to all areas, from politics to entertainment, from economics to genetics. You never know what they're gonna ask about, what kind of text they will have on their tests. Okay guys, so keep that in mind. Read as much as you can. This is the best advice I can give you right now. Don't get frustrated because the beginning is harder, and you will evolve if you do the things that I'm telling you. If you read a lot, if you do the tests, and if you get through the classes that I'm teaching, I'm pretty sure you will evolve fast and the results will come. Okay guys, it's been a pleasure to be here with you. I'll see you soon in another video. Bye bye guys, take care. Just get here. Bye bye.